Hello, friends. I'm glad you came to my channel. I would really appreciate your support in helping me reach 1,000 subscribers as soon as possible. Thank you. Let's get to the story. It's weird trying to write this out. I know I'm going to get a lot of stick for it from most of the people who would read this, because I even condemn these actions. To be honest, I wouldn't be doing this if I wasn't instructed to by my therapist. People have read it. This isn't one of those AIT stuff because I know already that I was an arsehole. I am simply writing this to see if it could help my moving on, and as I said before, because my therapist specifically said I should. My boyfriend of 3 years, Sam, left without saying a word when he found me with another man. Well, he actually was my fiancé. The event occurred just a week before our wedding, and I've been distraught ever since. I grew up a carefree young girl, a girl who did whatever it was that made her happy, regardless of who I hurt in the process. I had lost a number of friends because of this, and I never thought I'd lose the only person I've loved so dearly. Also, IF22 then met Alex, who was 26, at a bar on St. Paddy's Day. He was the only one not wearing green in the bar that day. He walked up to me and delivered a funny first line, "Hey, leprechaun, here's your pot of gold," he said as he opened his palm to reveal that indeed, he had some pot. I was already a little tipsy, so I said, "Why not?" and joined him outside for a drag. "So, Mr. Pot of Gold, this really is good stuff, but I must ask you, why aren't you wearing green?" I said as I dragged a little and passed the blunt to him. "I don't live by the rules of society," he responded as he took another drag. We talked for hours that night, both of us high as clouds. I asked him to roll another blunt, but he quickly turned it down. Sure, he had enough pot for at least 2 more blunts, but he wasn't smoking anymore because that day was actually the first day he smoked ever. He told me how he had always seen me at the bar on occasions, and how he had learned that I smoked. He admitted that that initially put him off, but he just wanted to talk to me more than he cared that I smoked. He even added that if we were to be together, I'd have to quit down the line. I thought that was bold of him, already talking about being together at the first meeting. I didn't know if it was him or the weed talking, but I laughed when he said it. He was cute, actually. He had a nice jawline, was tall, and from the way his clothes were fitted to him, he was also quite fit. I thought to myself, this would be fun, as I decided to go with the flow. I don't know if it was the high on my part, but something about him felt comforting. His deep, raspy baritone voice, the way he spoke with so much pizzazz. I was almost a foot shorter than he was, so I felt like I could cozy up to him. That was how I met him. He said he was already in love with me, and it showed from the first day. It didn't take long for me to fall hopelessly and helplessly in love with him. He texted me immediately after he got home, which made me feel on top of the world. We went out together a lot after meeting that day. We were in what most people in my generation would call a talking stage for about 4 months. We shared everything about ourselves with each other. He taught me how to prepare his favorite meal, and I did likewise. It wasn't long before we knew every detail about one another. I still remember our first kiss. It was at a wedding we gate crashed. He was at my place and we were playing Monopoly together. He all of a sudden turned to me and said, "You know what would be so fun right now?" I asked. "What?" And he said, "If we crashed a party." I asked what kind of party it was, and he said he'd rather not tell, but I better bring my game face. I brought it. We took a taxi to the place, not so far from where I lived, but not so close that we could walk there. The cab driver greeted us like we were a couple and asked where we were headed. I was about to say we weren't together, but he cut me off with his laughing and said, "My girlfriend is about to make someone's bride feel second best at her own wedding." The cab driver nodded in approval and drove to the address he was given. "You know we're not dating, right?" I said to Alex. "Don't worry, after the night we'll have today, we definitely will be," he added as he put his jacket around me. I lost all the words in my mouth. I wanted to ask him why he didn't say it was a wedding if he knew who was getting married, and why he decided on crashing a party he wasn't invited to. I couldn't make up the sentences. I was really flustered because of that sentence. When we arrived at the wedding, it turned out that he knew quite a lot of the people there. The way they looked at me made me feel like I wasn't supposed to be there, which was true because neither of us should have been there. When the wedding started, I asked him the questions I wanted to ask. He told me the groom was a close friend of his, that is, until they both fell in love with the same lady, the bride. He told me how one day, while playing FIFA 14, they had talked about how to remedy the situation. Since neither of them was willing to back down, they had decided to settle it with a game. The winner got to talk to her, and the other had to stay clear. He had lost the game and decided he wasn't going to stick around much. He wished his friend good luck and left what he called a love chain. According to him, the two were in love with her, and she loved the two also. So that day was the first time he spoke with either of them since he lost the FIFA 14 match. I thought it was crazy how men made pacts based on games, and even crazier that they do keep to those pacts. Well, it was none of my business. Later, at the reception, the three friends caught up. Alex shared a dance with the bride. I must admit, even though she was already married, I still got a little jealous seeing them dance together because of what he had said earlier. "Is that jealousy on your face?" Alex asked as he did the slight gentlemanly bow that motioned me to have a dance with him. I took his hand and we started dancing. "I thought you said we weren't together. You have no right to be jealous, you know," he added. "What if I wanted a right to be jealous?" I said. "What did I just say?" Alex really had a way of making me reveal my true desires. He smiled at me. We danced on, but now he had pulled me closer to him, and I could feel his heart beating against the top of my head. He whispered sweet nothings in my ear. When the dance was coming to an end, he raised my head with his hands, looked me in the eyes, and said those 3 words that would make anyone feel on top of the world. Then he kissed me for what felt like a long time. My face was red hot and I had butterflies in my stomach. After the kiss, while still looking me dead in the eyes, he said, "Now you have the right to be jealous." Then he laughed. Oh, what a beautiful smile he had. Writing this on here is making me tear up, guys. I really don't know how I ruined such a beautiful thing in less than 4 hours. I honestly wouldn't be writing this if I wasn't told to. It hurts to have to recall every memory we shared because I'm being hit hard by the fact that I really messed it all up. I had what every woman prayed to have, and I ruined it. I really let my stupid actions ruin it. We spent every passing day together. He was a web developer, so he did most of his job remotely, only having to show up at the office once or twice a week. One of the many things I loved about him was how he had his life in order. Most people his age were just starting up, just figuring things out, or just making it up as they went. Not him. He lived a near-perfect lifestyle. 2 years into our relationship, I had already quit smoking for a year. He really did call it. We had started living together, and since I didn't have a job then, I was home most of the time. I normally smoked when I was bored, tired, or unhappy. I was never any of those when I was with him, so it didn't even click that I hadn't smoked for a long time until he pointed it out. In and around our 2nd year, my younger sister got married to her high school sweetheart. I was happy for her, honestly. I was, but as we all know, watching your younger sibling get married before you normally tends to hit a nerve. It did hit a nerve for me. After a sarcastic fake laugh, I went with my dear Alex to the wedding. He noticed something being off about me at the reception, stating that he knows when I'm genuinely happy and when I'm happy and also sad about something. He was persistent in getting me to talk about it, telling jokes and all. Well, it worked. I told him how happy I was that my sister was getting married and how it was good that she didn't have to get hurt by a man or get her heart broken. I told him how I knew she was a very soft and fragile girl and how I was always worried that she might have to go through being cheated on or any of such heartbreaking relationships. I told him how it made sense that she, of all my other sisters, myself included, was the one who got the fairy tale love story. Then I went on to talk about what really bothered me while growing up. My family always made jokes about how I'd probably be the last one to get married. It was a running theme in the house, so much so that my nickname at home is still Runaway Bride. I told him how, as we stood there dancing, I was the only single one amongst us. It wasn't something I thought he'd understand, and he didn't. He was always someone who didn't really care much about getting married. His words, "If I get to have that love that has made me think about getting married, I'd do it, no questions asked, but I won't be mad if I don't get married." He tried for a few seconds to comfort me, and after failing to do so, he got up and left. I thought he was done with the wedding. I wanted to follow him home, but he said no, that I should stay back. He only wanted to get the wedding gift he left in the car. When he came back, he and I went to present our gift to the newlyweds. After doing so, he went straight to the DJ and asked for a microphone. I wondered what for. He started by thanking the family for welcoming him. He praised the couple's longevity and said that he admired what they have. Then he called me forward. I didn't even know what for, and the look on my face showed that I didn't. "Sorry, Ralph. I know you and your lovely wife didn't imagine that something other than your wedding would be going on today," he started. Everyone laughed. "Jessica, don't worry. When you play this back, you'd love what's about to happen right now, but for now, let the couple share a kiss." The crowd joined the chant until the two had kissed. Now that the couple is kissed, I can change the topic. Now, Jelly Bean, remember when I told you that if I get to have that love that has made me think about getting married, I'd do it, no questions asked? Well, I'm grateful God brought you to me, he started. You've brightened up my world, and in the years we've known each other, we've been nothing short of inseparable. I've been wanting to do this for a few weeks now, but I think it's fate that I'm doing this today. Remember when we first kissed? It was at a wedding. So now at another wedding, I'd like to ask you this question. Wait, is he about to do what I think he's about to do? I thought to myself. I was starting to get flustered. He got on one knee and pulled a box out of his coat pocket. Oh my gosh, he is. I couldn't contain my happiness anymore. I started vibrating like a toddler who'd had a lot of sugar. My runaway bride, would you like to have the right to be jealous for the rest of our lives together? That was so cheesy of him, using the same words he said when we first kissed. Again, I was really happy he was asking me to marry him. I screamed, yes, and jumped on him. We both fell to the ground. The crowd laughed and clapped. Before I go on, I'd like to leave advice for any woman who's planning her wedding. Don't think too much about it. The wedding itself doesn't matter. It's the marriage that matters. The rest of your life that comes after that one day is what matters. Well, planning the wedding was really stressful. This, coupled with the fact that I had just gotten a job, both messed with my head. My husband-to-be only asked for one thing. Well, actually two, no bachelor's or bachelorette party, and also that he wanted to wear a traditional outfit of the Igbo tribe in Nigeria called an aoke on that day. Funny thing is, as I got into every single detail of the wedding planning, getting frustrated, angry, and sometimes transferring aggression on Alex, he was calm. He helped me calm down when I was tense. He'd tell me that he didn't care about the wedding. All he wanted was me. Looking back, I don't even understand why that made me angry. When the wedding was around the corner, I decided I needed to unwind or treat myself because I was stressed out. I decided to tell my maid of honor to throw me a bachelorette party, which she did happily. Explaining that to him wasn't going to be easy, so I thought I'd try to make it seem like it was his idea. I tried every single manipulating tactic I had learned on him. None worked. He always responded with the same 6 words. I only asked for 2 things. Then, a week to the bachelorette party, I decided to come clean. He was furious, really furious. I didn't know why he was. I didn't see why me holding a party to cool off for myself would be a big deal. So big that he didn't even sleep at home the night I told him. I got very mad at him for not understanding why I wanted the party. Anyway, I was pissed at him for only seeing it as a betrayal of trust. I was really angry at him because he made me feel bad about a party meant for me to unwind. Every time I tried to apologize, he said the only apology he'd accept was me calling off the party. I didn't. Well, 2 days into the party, he called me to the room and apologized for overreacting. He said he understood why I would want the party and that I should go have fun. I finally had my way at the party. There were a lot of male strippers. My maid of honor was a real gem. No kidding. A few of the men were very sexy, I won't lie. But I initially only wanted this party to dance and forget the stress I had had in the last 3 months. 5 shots down the line, I was tongue deep inside one of the strippers. While I was in the middle of my foolishness, I noticed a figure that looked like that of my Alex. I thought it impossible that he'd be there. I don't know what really occurred next. All I knew was that I had way too much to drink, waking up the next day with a real bad hangover. I saw a man sleeping next to me, so naturally I thought it was my man. When I walked out of the room, I noticed that I didn't know this apartment. My friends all shrieked at me, then they kept asking me how it was. Was he good? Did he make you come? Did you know Alex came here? Wait, hold on. I rushed back to the room and saw that the man in the room was one of the strippers. No. Did I just sleep with one of the strippers? Wait, did I hear someone say Alex came over here? I rushed out of the room and out of the apartment. I headed for my place. When I got there, the echo of me putting my key in the lock was something else. When I walked in, a note fell on me from the top of the door. The note read, "Hope it was worth it." I looked up and saw my place completely empty. The only things left were the things I bought myself. Alex had moved everything he owned out of the house. I wept. I still have the note with me. I keep it as a reminder not to mess up the good things I have going on. I tried to call Alex. Nothing. Tried to text. Nothing. I went on WhatsApp to text him. That was when I saw it. His last status update read, "It's over, guys. Wedding's off." He had blocked me on all platforms and had cleared everything he had in this place. There wasn't any chance of ever seeing him again. That was 3 years ago. The lack of closure makes it harder to forget him. 3 years of therapy hasn't done its job, which was to help me move on from the hurt which I had caused myself. I had to explain to my family why I wasn't getting married again. They were all disappointed in me. I don't think I'll be able to move on from this. I know I don't even have the right to ask for anything. I really wish I could find happiness again after blowing this one. I know people don't always get a second chance, but I really need to be happy. It's been 3 years and I've been miserable. Alex, if you're seeing this, I'm sorry. I still love you. Thank you for listening to the story until the end. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to support me.